The Forbidden Tree, a legacy of knowledge and choice. Welcome to Kingdom Chronicles. I'm your host, Privileged Tru7h, and I hope that you enjoy this story. The tree of knowledge of good and evil stood at the center of Eden, a towering, majestic presence that radiated an aura of forbidden mystery. Its bark, deep and textured, seemed almost to pulse with an ancient energy. Smooth and gnarled at the same time, a symbol of the sacred and the dangerous. Its branches stretched wide, laden with lush emerald leaves that rustled softly in the breeze, creating a sound like whispers in the wind. And if the tree itself was guarding its secret, the fruit, though beautifully ripe and alluring, hung in clusters, shining golden orbs that almost seemed to glow with a tempting warmth. From a distance, it appeared harmless, like any other fruit in the garden, inviting and nourishing. Yet, upon closer inspection, there was a depth to its allure, a pull that transcended physical beauty. It was not the appearance of the fruit, but the knowledge it promised that made it dangerous. The fruit was not merely nourishment for the body, but for the mind and soul, offering the kind of wisdom that could unravel the very fabric of creation. This tree was not an ordinary plant. It was the point of choice, the dividing line between innocence and awareness. It represented both divine knowledge and the inevitable fall that came with it. In a world where everything was good, where life was unmarred by struggle, the tree became a test of faith, a moment of decision. To eat from it would be to challenge the orders of things, to assert that humankind could stand as equals with God. Knowing what he knows, experience both the beauty and the burden of discernment. But the significance of the tree of knowledge did not just lie in its fruit. Its placement in the garden itself, isolated, commanding, yet within reach, spoke volumes about the very nature of choice and temptation. It was the only boundary set by God, the only law in paradise of limitless freedom. And in that single commandment, God was offering humanity the gift of free will, the capacity to choose, to trust, to love. As the garden around it flourished in innocence, the tree stood as the one point where Eden's perfection was fragile, vulnerable to the power of choice. The moment Adam and Eve gazed upon it, the first stirrings of rebellion began to rise. The tree was not just the source of knowledge, but the source of a fall from grace that would echo through the ages, altering the course of human history. It was not until the serpent, an ancient and cunning force, came slithering into the garden that the true temptation began. It whispered of power, of wisdom, of becoming like God himself. It was then that the fruit's allure turned from a quiet invitation to an overwhelming, irresistible desire. The moment Eve took that fruit and then passed it to Adam, the earth itself seemed to hold its breath. The tree, which once had been a place of innocence, now stood as a monument to the greatest choice ever made, one that would lead humanity's expulsion from the garden, their loss of innocence, and the entry of sin and suffering into the world. The tree of knowledge of good and evil was no longer just a tree. It became a symbol of humanity's potential, its flaws, and its inherent need for redemption. It marked the beginning of a journey toward understanding, yes, but also the fall from grace. A reminder that knowledge, when sought apart from God's wisdom, can lead to total destruction. The tree's remains, though long gone, will leave an indelible mark on history. Powerful reminder that some knowledge is too great for humanity to handle, and that true wisdom lies in obedience and trust in God. And so, the Garden of Eden, with its sacred tree, would forever be etched into the collective memory of mankind as the place where the human story began, with its choices, its consequences, and its need for grace. The legacy of the tree of knowledge of good and evil would not be confined to the distant past. Its lessons, woven deeply into the fabric of humanity, reverberate through time. Woven deeply into the fabric of humanity, reverberate through time, showing up in the struggles, choices, and wisdom of every generation since. The fruit that once glimmered in Eden's garden still beckons humanity in moments of temptation, inching minds to seek understanding apart from divine guidance. As centuries passed, the story of Eden became a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge without God can lead to perilous outcomes. The tree itself, once vibrant and alive, became a symbol of the consequences of human disobedience. It illustrated that the very gift of free will, given with such love by the Creator, carries with it the burden of responsibility. With it comes the ability to choose rightly or to wander astray. The story of Adam and Eve and the fruit they ate now stands as a mirror to every human heart, a constant reflection of our desire for control, for answers, for wisdom, and yet our inability to handle it without divine help. The tree's significance is not bound to one moment in time. It reaches into the present, speaking into every choice made in the hearts of those who, like Adam and Eve, face the age-old question: will we choose God's wisdom or will we take the fruit with all its allure and risk everything? Though Eden is lost, the story lives on. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil remains at the heart of the human journey, a timeless reminder that with knowledge comes great responsibility. And in the end, the true knowledge we seek is not just understanding the world, but knowing the one who made it and learning to trust in his wisdom above all else. It is this ongoing struggle, this eternal tension between human desire and divine truth that continues to shape our world. The tree's influence will never fade. Its lesson is eternal. True wisdom is not found in independence, but in dependence on the Creator, who alone can guide us through the maze of life and offer the knowledge that leads to life everlasting. I really hope this story touched you all, and for those whom it has touched, I pray to God that He reaches your heart in the way He sees fit for you to walk and stride with Him. And I claim that by faith, that we will make the decisions to trust in His wisdom. And let us all say, amen, and it is so. I am your host, Privileged Tru7h. Thank you for tuning in to Kingdom Chronicles.